master student at IIT Roorkee. He has attended level 1, MDTS 2021 level 1. His topic is applications of mean value theorem. So Rituraj, over to you.
Hello everyone. So the topic of today's discussion for me is applications of mean value theorem. What is mean value theorem? Just I am giving an overview. If you are given a function f is continuous on closed interval AB, and if you exclude these points A and B, and you will get an open interval, and f is differentiable on this open interval, then there exists a point in this open interval such that f of b minus f of a equals to f dash c b minus a. Also, it's written in many books in the form f b minus f a upon b minus a equals to f dash c. Okay. So now moving on further, we need to discuss the applications. So first, before discussing applications, we need to understand what is its physical significance, because I have seen most of the mathematics students try to find the physical significance of every theorem, every subject, every subtopics in mathematics. So what is the physical significance? Is there any, what is the mean of mean value here? Or is there any meaning of using mean value term here? So I am taking an example for that. Let us consider an aeroplane, this is point A, moving from point A to a point B. So at point A, I am taking the initial position at A and final position at B. And time at a equals time at t equals to 0, here t equals to 6, and distance I am considering 3000 kilometers. So what will be the average speed? Average, that is mean, right? Average speed will be equals to total time upon total distance upon total time taken, equals to 500 kilometer per hour. Correct? Okay. So now the question is that, does the flight attain the average speed at any point of time? See the question. Does the flight attain the average speed at any point of time? Because you are not sure whether this average is attained at any point or not. So you need mean value theorem for that. So let's consider. I am considering it mathematically, x distance as a function of time, distance leveled at time t. So what was initial position at A? At A, time equals to 0. At x at time equals to 0, our position was, distance leveled was 0, and at t equals to 6 hours, distance leveled was 3000. So now the question comes, is the distance function continuous, and is it differentiable? So can anyone answer these things? Okay, so it is continuous. Why is it continuous? Can you skip any point? Can you skip any point in this, and you can reach just from this point to some another point without going in midway? Like as you see in mythology, one god calls another god, and he comes without covering the midway. So can you go that way? No, you can't go. So that is the function is continuous. And why is it differentiable? See, is there very sudden change in distance is possible or not? So very sudden change means what is the differentiation of distance with respect to time? It is speed. We have a speedometer. If it is, say, if it is not differentiable, then speed will not be defined at that point. But speedometer always gives speed, so that is a clue to think that it is differentiable. So we can apply mean value theorem. So there exists some point of time t naught in the open interval 0 to 6, such that x dash t naught equals to, this is speed, right, at time t naught, equals to x of 6 minus this is like as in usual things, f of b minus f of a upon b minus a. So here we have x of 6 minus x of 0 upon 6 minus 0, which is 500 km per hour. But it was the average speed. So we are getting a time t naught in this open interval where we are achieving the mean value of speed. So I think you are now it is now clear what is the mean value term means in the mean value theorem. So the term mean value theorem in this theorem refers to mean value of the derivative of the function, right? Mean value of the derivative of function, not of the function. It is the of the derivative of the function on which we are applying mean value theorem. And second thing, what you observed, that mean value theorem tells us that the derivative of the function, this will acquire this mean value of the derivative at some point of domain. Here, the domain was time from 0 to 6. So it is attaining this average speed at some point of time. So I think the use of the term is clear. Now, so this is the geometrical interpretation. Here, it's secant line. You have seen in many books this geometrical interpretation, but I am going to tell something more analytically. This where is my cursor? Yes, this is say your distance function xt, and this will be your secant from 0 to 6, right? So this is your secant line. What does secant line tells? Tangent line tells us the slope at that point. Okay, and secant line, what does it tell? It tells the average rate of change. What is rate of change? It is derivative, and average is mean value. So it tells mean value of derivative, which is the slope of the secant. So in most of the books, you will find that there exists a point in the interval where the slope of the tangent will be equals to slope of the secant joining the starting and initial point in the interval which you are considering. So similarly here, what I have concluded here, that you got a point of time t naught where the value of the speed, that is differentiation at that point, will be equals to mean value of derivative. Now I would also ask one question. If I will ask, is it necessary that the aeroplane will acquire speed 450 km per hour in between? I am not going to tell that question. Okay. You can ask in last. Okay. Now moving on to mathematical applications. So the various mathematical applications. First, we have, if the derivative vanishes, then the function is constant function. Okay. Now I am considering the function from I. This I is interval, right? And this is a real valued function, differentiable on I. Differentiable, it also implies that it is continuous on interval I, and f dash equals to 0 on I, then f is constant. See, in the 12th standard classes, what was the basic definition of constant function? It says that the value of function at every point is same. So in the similar way, if we take a point of the domain and we show that the value of function at that particular point, and we take any arbitrary point, at any arbitrary point the value of function is equals to value of function at that particular point, then the function is constant. So we fix any a belonging to this interval, then taking any x arbitrary x not equals to a. So by trichotomy, x is greater than or a, or x is less than a. I am considering here x is less than a without loss of generality. You can also take a less than x, then you will have to consider a comma x. So f differentiable, f continuous. So now there exists a point in between in this open interval. There exists c such that f of x minus f of a equals to f dash c into x minus a, which is mean value theorem statement. Okay, so here f dash equals to 0 for every point in domain. In particular for x equals to c, it's also valid. So this term, this where I am rotating my cursor, so this point is this will give the value 0, and x minus a, it's so this 0 into something, so right hand side is equals to 0 implies that left hand side will also be equals to 0. So fx minus f of a equals to 0 implies that fx equals to fa. We have taken any arbitrary x not equals to a, and we get that at any arbitrary point the value is equals to value at that particular point. So this is constant. Now I think everyone got it. Now the question comes: why I am considering this I as an interval? Is if we consider I any not particularly in the interval, I can take any other domain. But then will this result be valid? Can anyone tell? Okay, so not waiting for that. So the question is, what if I is not an interval? Consider this function. From 1 to 2, f of let us say f is the function. So f of x equals to a for x between 1 to 2, and between 3 and 4 the value is b, and a not equals to b, and our f is defined from 1 to union 3 4. So these points are not 2 to 3, the point between these are not in this, so this is not an interval, and the function is defined as this and this at the respective intervals. Okay, so here the derivative is 0. Clear? Everything everyone is fine with that. Okay, f dash is 0. What? F is not constant, because for the definition of constant function we need value at every point should be equal to value at any other point f of a and f of b should be equal for any a comma b. Here we can say x and y. So here if we take 1.5 and 3.5, the value is not equal, so that is not constant. Okay, now another application. If the derivative is positive, then the function is increasing, but again here I am taking interval I. Okay, and f is differentiable, it will also imply f is continuous, and f dash is greater than 0, then f is increasing on I. So how will you show that? First remember the memorize the basic definition of increasing function, which is if you take any x less than y, you have to show that fx is less than fy, right? So we take any xy arbitrary, what x is less than y we are choosing, and then the interval x to y, this will be contained in I or not? Are you sure that it will be contained? Yes, because I is interval. So if you take any 2 points between them, it will also be a subinterval of I. So this is differentiable, this is continuous. So we can apply mean value theorem here. So again, there exists C belonging to x by such that f of y minus f of x equals to f dash c y minus x, and f dash x is greater than 0 for all x. So f in particular for x equals to c, this is greater than 0, and we have chosen x is less than y, so y minus x will be greater than 0. So this side is greater than 0, greater than 0. So their multiplication will also be greater than 0. RHS is greater than 0, so LHS will also be greater than 0. So this implies fy minus fx is greater than 0. This will say that fx is less than fy. What we consider? X is less than y. It is showing that fx is less than fy. So it means f is increasing. Right, again think about what if I is not an interval, because we can't apply MBT for that if I is not an interval. Okay, now I am taking the question. If you think what will be it converse? If f is increasing on I, is it necessary that f dash x is greater than 0? Can anyone answer? Okay, no. So the question is that given f is increasing function on I, f is differentiable. Does it imply that f dash x is greater than 0? So I am giving a hint. Just consider a function fx equals to x cube on any interval containing the point 0. So f dash will be equals to 3x square, and at x equals to 0, the value 3x square, 3 into 0 square will be 0. F dash is 0. But if you go by basic definition, the function f is increasing. You can check that easily. Okay. Now also think about what if the other statements are same, f I to r, f is differentiable on I, but here change the sign, f dash x is less than 0 for all x belonging to I, then f is decreasing on I, right? So the proof will go on the same line. I am not going on that. Okay, now another important application. If the derivative is bounded, then the function is Lipschitz. So again, f from an interval I to R, differentiable is given, so it will also imply continuity. So we can apply mean value theorem. And bounded, so that bounded means there exists a capital M greater than 0 such that f dash x is modulus of f dash x is less than equals to M for every x. Then we have to show f is Lipschitz function. I am assuming that you all know f is Lipschitz function, otherwise it will be clear in a while. So the proof goes on the same line as we did. The somewhat it's same. If like as we consider x is less than y and xy is contained in I, because I is an interval. Applying mean value theorem, there exists a point in this open interval such that the statement of mean value theorem is valid. So what we have, f dash x is less than equals to M. In particular, it will be valid for x equals to c, right? So we take modulus on both sides, then we apply inequality. F dash x is less than equals to M, f dash c is less than equals to M. So this term is less than equals to M, and putting this as M, so this is less than equals to mx minus y. And what is the Lipschitz function? It says that modulus of fx minus f by is less than equals to some constant time x minus y. So this function is Lipschitz function. Okay, I think everyone is fine with this. Okay, so moving further.
Yeah, Rituraj.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
a
ma'am?
gentle reminder about the time. Okay?
Yeah.
You may
Yeah, I'm
continue.
fine. Okay. So now consider some important inequalities. We got to use to these inequalities in higher mathematics. Yes. So we need to understand how we will prove that. So here, can anyone tell what function we will have to take for showing this inequality? Can anyone tell? Okay. So we can take e to the power x, and what will be the interval then? Here one is there, so once the thought comes like as we can take e to the power 0, so it will give 1. Yes, so you are right if you think like that. So consider e to the power function on 0 to x if x is greater than 0, and if x is less than 0, then x to the power 0. So then x comma 0. So this you will get this result, this inequality, by using this. And again, for modulus sin x is less than equals to modulus x, this also you will get by considering sin x on 0 to x and x comma or x comma 0, whatever. If you take x is greater than 0, then this, otherwise x is x comma 0. And I am leaving it for you to use mean value theorem for this. Okay, now some very important theorems which we prove by using mean value theorem, like as first derivative test for the axiom, which you will be aware by the time your 12th standard. So what it tells, like as it tells that function is decreasing from at a point, if the function is decreasing from left side and increasing from right side, then it will have minima at that point. And Darboux theorem, can anyone tell the another name for Darboux theorem? No. Okay. So it is also known as intermediate value theorem for derivatives. So both these theorems use the use the mean value theorem to prove their statements. So you can go and check, because of the shortage of time, I am not going to do these here. So now moving on to further tell you what is the importance of mean value theorem, because mean value theorem, applying mean value theorem seems very simple for a student. So we usually underrate it. What you can show here that a Nobel laureate, American physicist Edward Mills Purcell, said that mean value theorem is the midwife of calculus. So you can see what is the role of midwife. It seems not very important, but its role is glamorous by itself. It is not very important or glamorous, but it helps to deliver other theorems that are of major significance, like as you will see in many things. These are only a few examples, and these are important till the undergraduate proofs, but in the post graduation you will see many proofs which will use the mean value theorem in 1 or 2 lines, and you may just ignore that its importance, but you don't need to ignore that. Okay, so if there is any doubt, anyone he or she can ask if anyone is having any doubt, and this is the last of my lecture. Yeah, okay, any question?